Have you been trying to communicate with your teenagers and getting no response? You're getting the look, you're getting the one answer, the one word answers. Well, today I'm going to share with you 6 very simple tips to keep in mind the next time that you go in to talk with your teenager. No. Not much. Are these the kinds of responses that you are getting when you're trying to talk with your teenager? Not because your teenager does not want to talk with you. Actually, teenagers have a lot to say. Have you ever heard them on the phone with their friends? Or when they're texting? That's talking for them. I think that we have to change the way we think about things today. Communicating is not just talking, this verbal talk that we're having. At the heart of it all, what is it that you want to get across to your teen, or what is communicating to you? I want to know what's happening in my teenager's life. When my kids were teenagers, there was one rule of thumb in the house, and that was that no matter where everyone was, at the end of the day, come 6 o'clock, everybody was home for supper. And it's not because we had these huge rituals and traditions that we followed, but for me it was a way for a busy single mom to connect with 3 kids. And that's what we did. We sat down every day for supper and we talked. Sometimes I got more out of it than other times. And there were times when everybody was just quiet and in their own world. And let me tell you, as adults, we have those moments as well. I know that there were many a day where I would come home from work and I'd say hi to my children and take myself off into my bedroom and decompress, and I'd be changing and just getting refreshed just so that I could decompress, put away the stuff that I had from work and the challenges that I was facing in my day-to-day life as a single parent, so that I could come back out and be focused and ready for 3 kids who had sometimes so much they wanted to tell me, or complaining about one another and how one did whatever to the other one. It's a way of understanding where we all are at. Adults and teenagers all communicate in the same way. It's just trying to figure out what way your teenager communicates with you and what is important to you. So let's start off. Step 1. Step 1, be consistent. I'm not telling you to put on your agenda a day, like for example, on Saturday, I'm going to sit down with John and talk to him and ask him what is happening. The chances are that that will not work. We have to be consistent on a daily basis. Take the small opportunities. We're talking about teenagers today, so you may not have as much time with your teenager, but there's always an opportunity. Be ready for that opportunity so that you can consistently talk with them and ask them questions. If you happen to drive your children to and from school or to extracurricular activities, turn off your radio, turn off your phone, and be consistent and ask your children what is happening. Ask your children on a day-to-day basis what is happening in their life. Don't wait for something horrible to happen at school and for you to get a call from the school or from a friend's parent or from someone else. On a day-to-day basis, you need to ask your children how their day was, how they're doing, how they're feeling. And you know what? 90% of the time you won't get an answer. Those opportunities will come. They will answer you because they will know that you were consistent in being there in their lives on a day-to-day basis. Step 2, focus on your children. Turn off your phone, turn off your computer, turn off the radio, turn off the news, turn off the noise in your head so that you can hear your children. Let me tell you, teenagers are very quick to understand if you are there for them or not. Are you really listening to them, or are you just doing your duty as a parent? So focus. Focus on your children. Let them know how important they are to you. Just think about it. You go to a friend, you go to your spouse, you go to your colleague, and you have something to share, whether because you're excited or something horrible happened or you've discovered something. You want the other person to focus in on you. Well, our teenagers are just the same way. When you are in their presence, focus on your children. Let it all go. Everything else will still be there when you turn back to those things. Step 3 is timing. Think about it, timing. How do you enjoy it when you're in the middle of preparing dinner and your kids come to you and ask you something? Listen, it happens in my house all the time. I have adult children and they still do that. I'm in the middle of preparing a huge family dinner and they're on me asking me questions or wanting something from me. The timing isn't right, and sometimes even with all my right intentions, I'll snap. And you know what? Teenagers are the same way. If they're in the middle of a movie, don't go in there and ask them how their day was. Or if they're talking to a friend on a phone, don't interrupt their call. You don't like it when your calls are interrupted. Timing is important. Again, they may never respond to you, but there may come a time when you ask them again and they will have an answer for you and be able to share with you. So timing is very important. And at this stage, now you've been consistent with them, you're focusing on them, your timing is good, and your teenager starts to talk with you. You know what our number one mistake is as a parent? We start to talk. We're already formulating our answers and our responses to our teenager. This isn't what this is about. We want to know what's happening in their lives. Let them talk. And bite your tongue and wait until they've finished. Because we want to know what's going on with our teenager. What is in their mind? What is in their heart? What is it that is frustrating them? So stop talking. Let them talk. Step 5 is technology. Teens text more than any other age group and make it very difficult for FaceTime with them. So adopt that. If your kids are really into it, pick your fights. Don't pick that one. They are communicating with each other. This is this generation's way of communicating. Doesn't work for me. Hopefully, as adults we have matured and know how to have a face-to-face conversation. But teenagers are at an awkward stage. So why don't you use technology? Text them, send them a little note saying, miss you, love you, how's your day going? Is there anything you need? I'm going to the grocery store, do you need a snack? Or Instagram is really popular with teenagers and young people. Why don't you like one of their posts? And you know what? Refrain from leaving an embarrassing comment. Just like it. So step 6 is go for a change of scenery. Every conversation that you have with your teen does not need to take place in the home, around a dining room table, in the car. It could be during an activity that you're doing together. If your teenager likes shopping, take them shopping. And look at what they like and what they gravitate to. Start a conversation. You don't have to have the most profound conversations every time that you have a conversation with your teenager. Sometimes it's just good to relax and listen to them. And you know what? They will talk to you. They need to build that relationship. And it's not a relationship of friend to friend, it's a friend to parent. And we'll talk about that on in another video. But it's a relationship that is a healthy relationship between a parent and a teenager. So let's just recap really quickly. Step one is be consistent. On a daily basis, try and connect with your child. 2, focus. Turn off your technology, turn off your brain where it's going about paying the bills and work and other day-to-day lives, and focus on your child. 3, step 3 is timing. Make sure that they are not watching a movie or talking with a friend or doing homework or concentrating on something that they want to be doing. Step 4, stop talking and let them do the talking. And step 5 is technology. Use what your teenagers understand the best and relate to. And finally, step 6 is go for a change of scenery. Do something that your teenager enjoys doing and will appreciate having you along. Just don't embarrass your teenager.